Tell us more about this voice thing that you have to be able to answer the phone in so many different languages. How is that set up? Can we get in a little more of the weeds and understand that a little better here?
Yeah,
Oh,
so I can start with kind of the high level, and it's early days on it. So it's kind of a one of a kind, and Sargent Casanova and actually a municipality in the county as well has been one of the first to really try it out as this after hours line. Basic ideas. So where we started around the search and the chat feature was, how do we take a knowledge base, index all that content, which is your website, maybe your code. In the surrogates course, they have a bench book, which is, legal information, forms, things like that you can submit. And that's the basis, right? That's the knowledge basis of that. What we're now trying to get to, which gets a lot more complicated on the phone, is it's a different medium, but using that same kind of knowledge engine, right? So folks are calling in, we're understanding what they're asking about, putting that in the same engine. And it's really interesting because, when you get the responses, you can't do the same things you can do on the web, right? You can't really have links because on the web you can click through a link. But if you're on the phone, right, you had to explain that. And so there's a really interesting example. A small municipality in North Carolina actually showed an example of they asked like, how do I get a building permit in their case, right? And then on the website, obviously, it just links you to the place. But on the phone, it says, go to this part of the website, click on this button, then click here, then click there. So the whole idea is like trying to provide that same knowledge engine on different interfaces, right? And so phone is one of the most important ones for most governments. It's probably the biggest volume. And in Sergey Casanova's case, you're talking about 25 to 32 just after hours. I mean, you can't even imagine during hours how many calls are coming in. And so that's really kind of the idea there. And the language side is very interesting. It's very challenging on the phone. So that's even earlier on that side. But it's kind of really just trying to expand the number of inputs and outputs you can put into that engine is really the idea.
yeah, that's incredible. It shows the power of AI to be able to reach people, right? And I think what's really cool too. That's not we can talk about how great AI is for this too. But the thing that's really cool too is that sort of Casanova that you had a perspective of I want to reach those different populations, right? It wasn't just, well, I can't do anything, so it's fine, which has been kind of okay for a long time in the public sector. But you said, no, we can do better. We can do better than this. We can actually reach those populations. We don't have to have language be a barrier to being able to access their surrogate judge and the services that the surrogate judge provides, right? So that's really cool that you had that perspective to begin with. I think it's something that needs to be said too, and highlighted that we need to have a perspective of we can in fact reach people where they're at. This is a different day and age, and we need to adapt to this day and age where we can reach people where they're at, and make sure that we're providing services to all peoples and not just the people who look and sound like us.